I've had this Halloween wedding planned for 2 years. The venue I wanted has a wait list. All of a sudden, my mom and grandma decided the wedding was satanic and wanted me to make last-minute changes. I told my mom and grandma a firm no. For 2 years, my family has known about this, and because I've told them no, half my mom's side thought they would be cute and said they weren't coming in a random power struggle. I told them okay and canceled everyone's invitation who complained or backed my mom or grandma on this. One of my sisters acted like she had stepped out of bridesmaid duty, so I replaced her. About 25 people decided to act stupid at less than the 6-week mark, so I sent out uninvited invitations and new QR codes for those attending. The venue will check in only those to let people in. My aunt, who was one of the uninvited, told me that people are allowed to disagree with me, but that doesn't mean I can pull an invitation from a wedding that they've planned to attend. I told my aunt they had 2 years for complaints, but saying you're not going at 6 weeks before my wedding is crap. Everyone messed around and found out that I will not be bullied by my family over this. Am I the idiot for inviting 25 family members to my wedding? Edit. It was mainly over uninviting my mom and grandma. She huffed and said if our mom is uninvited, I'm not coming. I was like, okay, don't come. The family saw it as disrespectful or something like that. The venue is a historical haunted location that does weddings. My boyfriend and his parents, who thought this whole thing was in bad taste right before the wedding, backed me up. Congratulations on your upcoming marriage. Let them boo-hoo about not being there. You're right. They messed around and found out the hard way. They won the prize of being uninvited. Enjoy your epic Halloween, the best day of the year in my opinion, wedding. Are your guests dressing in costumes as well? Either way, I hope y'all have a wonderful and fun day. I love how the aunt is saying, how dare you disinvite me from a wedding I planned on going to, when she's responding to her literally saying, I won't go. So the bride said okay and gave her invitation to somebody who wanted to go. OP's spine grew 3 sizes that day. Tell your aunt that you only want people at your wedding who fully support you and your new spouse. They already said they're not coming, so why are they complaining now? Because they were bluffing to get their way, and now they're all shocked and Pikachu-faced that OP said, okay, then don't come. It's honestly hilarious. Maybe they'll learn not to say things they don't mean. OP, your mom and mother-in-law decided to intentionally blow up your wedding. Then they rallied their little army to put pressure on you. I would wager a bet that this isn't the first time you've had a run-in with them over them trying to control your life. Finally, someone who doesn't take crap and will go scorched earth for their beliefs. If only more people were like you instead of the doormats in this world. My brother and his wife Laura, who's 7 months pregnant, have been staying with us for a week since he's interviewing for jobs in the city where my family and I live. My kids love having their aunt and uncle around, and everything's been great. Yesterday, Laura went out and came back with groceries. I thanked her but told her that we don't expect them to do this. The kitchen is stocked, and we're just enjoying having them here. She said that she wanted to, and that most were cravings that she's been having. I started helping her unload the bags and noticed that a lot of snacks were with peanuts, cookies, crackers, peanut butter, and even some cake fusion. It all made me uneasy because she knows my oldest son, 8, male, is extremely allergic. I don't keep anything of the kind in our home because we've had an incident when he was younger where we almost lost him. I didn't want to be rude, but I told her I was uncomfortable with having that stuff in the house. She told me that she would be careful, that she wouldn't eat it around him or his siblings, that she'd clean up after herself, that she was having intense cravings and needed them. Look, I've had 4 kids and kind of get where she's coming from. Although I never had to have something, every woman is different. I made sure my son knew not to touch any of it and left her alone when she was eating them. That was that. Today I woke up early to make breakfast and open the fridge, only to be greeted by strawberries dipped in peanut butter and left out without a container to chill. The peanut butter jar wasn't sealed properly next to them, and there were sandwiches on a plate because she likes the bread cold and soggy. I was angry. I've read enough about airborne contamination to know that you can't really determine it, but I wasn't risking it. I grabbed a bag and started throwing everything in it, including our groceries and hers. I didn't care. I was going to take the bag, drive to a shelter, and let them know about the situation. Laura woke up while I was on my rampage, came down and asked, all upset, what I was doing. I was snippy with her and didn't try to hide it. We got into an argument, with her defensively saying that I can't do this, that the baby needs it, that it's cruel to put a pregnant woman through unsatisfied cravings. I told her bluntly that I don't give a darn. If she can't keep to her word, then I won't either, and that she'll live without her craving. My son can't say the same with his allergy. She went back upstairs, packed her bag, came back down, grabbed a bag of food, and left in a huff. My brother was at his interview and called me a half an hour later to ask me what happened. He was upset with his wife and with me because nothing had happened, and at the end of the day, my son was fine. I told my husband when he came back from work, and he was completely on my side. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Nothing happened and your son is fine because you made sure that would be the case. The only thing I can possibly think you might have done to be even more in the right was make sure your sister-in-law knew about the severity of the allergy and that even skin contact with residue that isn't visible enough could be enough to set him off. But that really isn't necessary with anyone who's remotely reasonable because everyone under 40 has been taught that sort of thing about peanut allergies. But don't you know it's cruel not to let a pregnant lady have her craving? It could severely harm her and her fetus if she can't scarf down peanut products for a whole week. Sometimes the entitlement is just ridiculous. I went to school with people with severe peanut allergies from the age of 4 and understood that I couldn't have anything with peanuts around them. My sister-in-law's old enough to understand, but doesn't care. Honestly, I hate but baby wants, baby needs, in situations where the person, like the pregnant lady, is the idiot. No, your unborn baby does not need strawberries dipped in peanut butter or cold, soggy peanut butter sandwiches. It's something you want. Baby is perfectly fine with whatever you eat, as long as you get the nutrition, etc. you and the baby need. And it's not cruel to say, you can't eat that in my house, just because you crave it. There are no human rights about people who come running because a pregnant woman has to be without her craving for a few days. But it will be an issue to contaminate food and possibly hurt a child. People really need to tone down the me. A developer in our area went bust, and plots behind and next to my land were for sale for a good price. Suddenly, I had new potential neighbors. One day, a guy appeared on my land, introduced himself, and told me that he had bought the land behind mine. He asked if I would agree to allow them to build a road on the border of my land, as the person who owns the land next to me doesn't want it to go in the middle of his land, but he would agree to have it on the border of our two lands, as he could also use the same road as his driveway. I agreed and told him that, sure. The only condition is that I can also use the road if I need access to that side of my land, for whatever reason. So he must do all the paperwork, and when everything is ready, we can make it official. We exchanged contacts and everything seemed to be great. A few days ago, I got an email with an attachment with plans and everything and costs divided into 3, assuming that everyone, including me, will pay a third. The future neighbor next to me replied that he would only cover part of the cost of what he would use, as he would only use half of it. I replied to his email with something like, I'm sorry if there was a misunderstanding, but I will not pay for the road because I don't need that road. I will allow you to build it. My only condition is that I can use it if I need it. That means the person next to me would have to cover 25% of the total, and the rest would be the guy behind us. The guy called me and was angry at me, saying that I was selfish and greedy, and that I expected to use something that others built, and it would be so expensive for him, and I'm a jerk. He didn't exactly use the word idiot, but am I the idiot? You're not the idiot. He wants to put a road across someone else's property. You and your neighbor kindly agreed to that. Now he expects you to help foot the bill? That's insane. It was nice enough that you're not charging him to build a road on your property. It's over the top entitlement to demand that you split the cost of the road that you do not need. Why did he buy the land that he has no access to? Because it was cheap, I guess. They should be happy that you allowed them to build the road. It's not your problem that the place behind yours doesn't have a direct connection to a road. The new owner had all possibilities to figure out this problem before he signed the contract. Also, if this road goes over your property, your neighbors should pay you for an easement. My mom never wanted a boy. She wanted girls. Apparently her dream was 4 daughters, but she had me, teen male, first. I've seen photos and videos of the day I was born. She cried hysterically when they told her I was a boy. Then she refused to hold me. After we were cleaned up, she cried about not using the name she had chosen and said she didn't know how to move on from it. All this was caught on camera. Eventually, my paternal grandmother took me, and she was the person to hold me in photos and videos taken during the rest of our hospital stay. My paternal grandma was my sole parent figure for the first pre-tween years of my life. She took care of me, and I spent a lot of time at her house. Sometimes I was there for weeks. Then she had a brain bleed and died. So I was left with a mom who wanted girls and not a boy, and a dad who wanted to be a provider and nothing more. My mom had my sister, Lily, 2 years after me. So mom got her girl and Lily got all of her attention. I got grandma until I was pre-tween, and then nobody. My mom and Lily are super close, and my mom adores Lily. Lily got the bigger bedroom. She got the gifts. She got all her favorite snacks. She got to do all the extracurricular activities she could ever want. And her birthdays were huge parties with huge gifts. Christmas? She gets at minimum 25 gifts from mom alone. Mom typically gets me 1. Never anything I'd like or want, but the thought that counts, which is 0. My mom's family isn't interested in making up for my lack of parental love. In the last couple of years, mom and I have argued more, and I give her a hard time. Dad's never around to give him one. But mom, if she wants to ignore me, then she can hear how crappy it is. And if she wants to treat my sister like a perfect angel, then she can hear about it. Mom has mentioned how I ruined her dream of 4 daughters. We were at mom's parents' house Friday, and mom gushed about Lily doing well on a project and the scooter she got Lily to help her get around more easily. She got Lily a custom helmet and a personalized lock for her scooter. She couldn't stop talking about it, and I told her she really does love to shower her favorite with gifts and praise. My mom's family told me I should take it easier on her, and I should understand that we had some little troubles because of mom's gender disappointment. I told them I don't owe her crap because she had gender disappointment and that I didn't ask to be born to a mom who only wanted daughters. They told me I lacked adult understanding and compassion. Not the idiot. Your mom is toxic and extremely shallow. So many out there are desperate for a healthy baby, regardless of gender. She's blessed with just that and rejects it. I'm so sorry your mom is like that, and for the loss of your grandmother. The good news is you're almost an adult. My advice is to focus on yourself and work hard to get out of there. Then you can choose when you see her and in what capacity. I really hate the concept of gender disappointment and feel it's becoming more obvious with these huge trendy gender reveals. Nobody needs to see their parents bratting because they're not what they expected. People need to grow the F up and realize what's important in life. That's not gender disappointment. That's some disgusting and cruel neglect on your mother's part. I had to use quotation marks because no real mother worth her salt would ever do such a thing. Dad is just as much an idiot as mom is. The fact that he can sit there and watch, that he basically left raising his son to his mother for pre-tween years because he couldn't parent for 1 minute. The fact that he spent the remaining pre-tween years being complicit in all of this makes him just as culpable for mom's actions and behavior as she is. Context. I, 39 female, am low contact with my family. I'm an artist. Not famous, but have some recognition in my field. My family was not very supportive of my career choice until I became successful and others praised me. So I'm a bit sour now that my mother, 63 female, is trying to get involved in my career, especially because she does things behind my back that I don't approve of. E.g., I gave her some free prints of my work, thinking she wanted to give them to friends. A few months later, she asked me if I had more because she'd already sold the one she'd got. I was mortified because these were free prints. I got them for free to give away, and she knew that. And I gave them to her for free, and she decided to make money off them. So obviously, I didn't give her more prints. Now she's apparently promised someone a print signed by me, and she told me this on the phone. She knows I'm going to be angry, but she already did it, so I need to sign a print and send it to them. So I asked her why she did it when she knew it would upset me. Her response? I wasn't thinking. This has been her response to anything I've called her out on for years. She never apologizes. She just says it's not her fault, that she did something without thinking about it. And then she blames me for being angry because it hurts her. Also, she's not senile, but she keeps forgetting when I ask her not to do something. This is not the first time she's gone behind my back and done something like this. I wasn't buying her excuse, and she told me that she hadn't promised it to the person 100%. She just said she could probably get it for them. She cried, so I caved in and said that while I'm not giving her another free print, she can buy one and get it to me. I live in a different city, and I'll sign it for them. However, the exchange between my mother and that person was on Facebook, a public post, and I found it, and she lied to me. The person, who knows she's my mother, asks if there's a chance I might sign the print, and my mother replies, sure. So she actually did promise it without asking me if it was okay. So I got upset again. To be clear, I don't have an issue with signing that print for someone. I'd do it if I were normally asked to. It just really bothers me that to my mother, I don't seem to deserve any consideration. So I'm conflicted because I know what she's doing is emotional manipulation, and I don't want to give in. But also, that person who asked for a signature did it in good faith and was promised something I don't mind giving. Not the idiot. Everyone should understand that they can't make commitments on behalf of somebody else without specific permission. That's not, I forgot this one specific thing. That's, I forgot to act like a responsible adult and then cried about it. She's not forgetting. She just doesn't care. Here's the thing. You cannot control your mother's actions, but you can control your reactions. Madness is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Change the pattern. Whenever she uses the excuse of, I wasn't thinking, tell her, now you are. What are you going to do to fix it? And don't cave in. She cries, I'm sorry you're upset. I'll give you time to figure out your next steps. Trust me, you do this a couple of times, the embarrassment alone will change your actions. Is it easy? No. But it's like parents doing everything for their children and setting them up for failure in the real world. Think of it as a life lesson for her benefit and your mental health. Best of luck.